The objective of this video is to write an introduction for an informative essay. When thinking about an introduction, you want to think about it as an upside-down triangle. We can use the acronym HIT, H-I-T, to help us to organize our introduction. The H stands for hook. You want to hook the reader into reading your essay or your performance task. The I stands for introducing the topic. You want to introduce the topic because the reader may or may not know a lot of information about the topic you're writing about. And then lastly, you want to put your thesis. This is the sentence that you built the other day, which followed the format of topic, verb, and 3 reasons or 3 ideas. Go ahead and copy and paste that thesis or controlling idea into your document now. I've put one here. You put yours. Now notice that in this introduction, when we hit the reader, we begin with information that is very general. This is inviting the reader to continue reading our essay. It lets them know that this is information that they can interact with. After we hook the reader, we introduce the topic. We give them something a little bit more specific, maybe something they didn't know before. And then lastly, we give a thesis or claim, which is very specific. It's very narrowed down at this point. This is what the essay is going to be about. Let's go ahead and begin to build our introduction. We can see here for the hook that I've written a sentence that is very general. All over the world, across different cultures and in different social classes, people tend to believe in freedom. However, the definition of freedom can be elusive without specific criteria to hold those in power accountable. This hook is an informative hook. I'm not necessarily telling a story or giving a quotation, although those can work for hooks as well. I'm not asking a question. I'm giving information because this is an informative hook. This should read a lot like what a journal article would read, or what an academic article such as an encyclopedia entry, okay, or a textbook, how a textbook would begin. Then I introduce the topic, something a little bit more specific. We know that we read sources that came out of World War II, the Human Rights Declaration, for example, a source that came from around the Civil Rights Movement, and some sources that also were from literature, as well as an interview from a Pakistani young woman, Malala. Okay, we know we've read through those, and so we're going to introduce the topic. After World War II, nations realized the freedom of many was not recognized, and they began to construct a document to define freedoms every human being should have at birth. In addition, when freedom is challenged, individuals have advocated for freedom within their nation and beyond. Notice how I'm not giving information about the very specific texts. I'm still keeping it general. I've narrowed it a little bit more. I kept it very general at my hook. I've narrowed it a little bit more, made it a little bit more specific. And then my thesis or claim is very, very specific. Freedom means to have human rights, access to education, and the ability to belong to a state. This entire section here, this is my introductory paragraph. I could take this and just copy and paste it. Take this section, copy and paste it. Take this section, copy and paste it, and put it into one paragraph, and that would be my introductory paragraph. Your turn. Go and write your hook, introduction to the topic, and your thesis and claim.